there's a threshold that we need to go under, and that's the threshold of regulating the quality of isness within us. One needs to even recognize that there is that quality to begin with, but once you recognize that there is an isness, there is a place in me where I'm just full of myself, can I regulate that? It's 4th of July, and for those of you who are maybe watching who are not in America, this is Independence Day for the United States, and it's the commemoration of the beginning of a country. And what makes a country stick together is how people yield for one another. Any society, any group of people, in order to get along, in order to manage as a group, need to give and take, and especially give. So the idea that when I give, what comes back to me as a stronger collective good is really the reward for giving. The Slonimer, the lesson I'd like to share with you today is a lesson by the Slonimer where he talks straight out about ego and how ego can be a hindrance. Obviously, ego also has a function. So let's jump right in, because I think this is apropos, especially for this 4th of July, where the modeling from the top is involves so much ego in ways that to me and to many others it feels like it's probably more destructive than constructive. So on this day of commemorating the beginning of a nation, let's get clear about what ego is and the role of ego. From the words of the Slonimer, let me jump right in. Vayikach Korach. So he's referring here to the Parsha, this week's Parsha, Parshat Korach, and he's quoting, it starts Vayikach Korach, are the first two words, and Korach took, Ita Bazor HaKadosh, the Korach Azil B'machloket, v'chulei. And it is said in the Zohar, the Bible of Jewish mysticism, that Korach got himself involved with a dispute. And a dispute, plukta de shalom. A dispute is the foundation of removing peace. Now, obviously, this is intuitive. We need the Zohar to tell us that. But this is the focus of the commentary. לבאר עניין כוח דפליג על שלום, וכי סבר שיש לאחוז במחלוקת. והנה שלום ומחלוקת, שהיא פלוגתא דשלום, יש להם שורש פנימי, מידת הישות. In order to understand why Korach became a disruptor of peace, and did Korach really think that that disputation and protest were the way to go, were a valued quality? The only way to understand this, יש לומר, דהיני שלום ומחלוקת שהיא פלוגתא דשלום, יש להם שורש פנימי מידת הישות. So when disputes are disrupting peace, it is because they're both sourced, they're both rooted in the quality of ego. And the word for ego here is yeshut. And I want to just expound on that word just for a moment. Yeshut, yesh, means is. The opposite of yesh is ein, or ein, which means is not, or void, nothing. So the quality of Yeshut, especially the way it's used in the context of Kabbalistic Chassidut and Kabbalah, is the quality of what we call ego. I'm going to use the word isness. So I'm going to interchange ego and isness. Isness as it refers to the human experience, the internal human experience of oneself. Ha'adam shu bivchinat yesh, a person who is of the aspect of yesh, of isness, shetofes makom b'nei atzmo, who holds himself in high regard. נדמה לו שחברו מפריע לו ועומד בדרכו. That person thinks that a fellow human being is opposing or in their way. ואף כשלא הרע לו בשום דבר, even if the other person has not wronged him in any way. מתוך מידת הישות שלו, because of the quality of isness or ego, יש לו את ההרגשה כי הוא מפריע לו ותופס את מקומו. That is where the feeling that the other person is in his way, is bothering him, comes for. ומזה בא למחלוקת, and from that extend disputes among people. והשלום שהוא הפך המחלוקת בא ממידת עין. And shalom, peace, which is the opposite of disputation, derives from the quality of nothingness, shehu bitul yeshut, which is the annulment of the isness or the ego. שכאשר מכניע את עצמו לגמרי להשם יתברך. And thus when a person surrenders him or herself completely to the Holy One, blessed be, ומשבר ומבטל ישותו, and breaks and annuls his or her isness, as ish eino mafriya lo, then no other person can be a bother, a disturbance to him or her. Ve'eino omed b'darko, and cannot be in his or her way. V'chaim kulam b'shalom, and at that state a person lives in peace with everybody else. So I want to stop here for a moment because it's a beautiful, almost simplistic and bare-bone explanation of the difference between peace as a quality, a state of mind, and disputation as a state of mind. And it's a digging, a plunging into the root of disputation. The sense that other people are a bother, a disturbance, a threat, an annoyance. That comes from the sense, the state of mind of being full of oneself, of regarding oneself as very important. ego. And the remedy is going to the place of nothingness and surrendering to the Holy One, blessed be. And now you can see that when the Slonimer talks about the Holy One, blessed be, he's not talking about Granddaddy in the sky, but he's talking about something much profound, beyond Daddy, and beyond sky, right? The place of everything, nothing. There's something very beautiful, very profound about this. Imagine if I kept that in mind all the time, and I had the tools to go to the place of nothingness, of an annulled self, an annulled ego. I would not have to fight others, but just to remove the obstacle within me. It's very aspirational, obviously, but very beautiful too. Let's continue with the Slonimer. והנה מידת הישות היא השורש פורה ראש ולענה של כל המידות הרעות. And thus the quality of ego, of isness, is the root for all the negative qualities of a human being. Now he's quoting from the Ethics of the Fathers, and it goes like this: הקנאה והתאווה והכבוד המוציאים את האדם מן העולם. So he's going to do a little bit of an anatomy of the ego. What are the forces? What are the qualities that kind of make up that isness space within our personality? So we learn from Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of the Fathers, it's jealousy, it's lust or cravings, and it's the desire for honor. Those exclude a person from his world or from the world. And the way I read this is that isolates a person. It puts us in a bubble through which it's hard for us to really connect with others. And the root of all these three qualities, jealousy, craving, and the desire for honor, their root is in isness, in the ego. קנאה נובעת מישות, ותאווה נובעת מישות. Jealousy draws from ego, and cravings draw from ego. אך בעיקר נובעת מידת הכבוד מהישות. But more than those two, the quality of desiring honor draws from ego. You can almost say that by definition, the ego wants to be recognized. When the ego is annulled, when the ego is out of the way, so no need for honor. I'm okay. I'm okay as I am. I don't need recognition from others. שעיקר הישות מתבטא בעניין הגאות. Because most of the ego expresses itself through pride, says the Slonimer. So pride is an expression of this desire for honor. It's hard to miss how appropriate this teaching is. I must say this, but as a commentary on the flavor of the leadership of this country right now. And I don't think I want to say any more about that, but it's hard to miss the link and the appropriateness of this beautiful teaching. ובזה היה פגם כוח במידת הגאות. And this was the deficiency of Korach, that he was, you could say, stricken by the quality of pride. ועל כן היה פליג על שלום. And that's why Korach resisted or protested against peace, against harmony. ששורש מחלקתו היה על מידת ביטול הישות, לבחינת עין. The root of his disputation of Moses and Aaron was about the idea of annulling one's ego, to turn it from ego into nothingness. Asher zeh makor hashalom, which is the root of peace. So Korach didn't even accept the premise that there is value in working on oneself and modifying and regulating one's ego. You see, he was ego happy. Maybe not trigger happy, but certainly ego happy. It's important to see that because the claims he makes are sensible as we read the story. But the place he comes from is not reasonable in a deeper way. ומה הטעם חלק על משה רבינו שמידתו בחינת עין? And what is the purpose that that Korach disputed against Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses our teacher, whose quality was the quality of nothingness? כמו דכתוב, ואיש משה ענב מכל האדם אשר על פני האדמה. As it is written in the Midrash, that Moses, the person, was the most humble person amongst all people on earth. That's a strong statement. So you see that Moses as an archetype represents the value and the aspiration of functioning the world from a place of no pride, no lust, no cravings, and no jealousy. He was simple. He was essential. That is the archetype of Moses, and he's the greatest leader. If you see the irony is that Moses, who considers himself the lesser of anybody else, is chosen to be the leader of everybody. And Korach, who is disputing Moses' right to be the leader, who too wants to be the leader, right? He says, why you? How about me? Is the archetype of pride. And in fact, he does lose, as the story goes, he does lose the argument in the end. But this tension dynamics is very important because it really illustrates one of those very simple, but it usually eludes us, that when we are striving on the spiritual path, when we are striving to become better, there's a threshold that we need to go under, and that's the threshold of regulating the quality of isness within us. One needs to even recognize that there is that quality to begin with, but once you recognize that there is an isness, there is a place in me where I'm just full of myself, can I regulate that? Can I surrender that? That is the trick on the spiritual path. וכתבה עליו התורה, and the Torah wrote, it's written about Moses, דווקא מידה זו, משום שמידה זו כוללת הכל, it's precisely the quality, this quality of humility that includes everything, it's all inclusive. through which a person, and Moses in this case, is able to annul the quality of isness and go into the space of nothingness. Therefore, all the negative qualities are uprooted from him, and he remains with all the strengths and the wellness and the goodness and the decency and the focus and the intentionality and the power, the ability to be a true leader. And it takes a true leader, and it takes true citizens, true people, both on both sides of the equation. You know, the leadership and the followership, the citizenship, and the political leaders, to really strive for that place of humility in order for a society to function such that the greater good, the collective good, is so much better for each individual and for the community as a whole. It's so simple, but how easy is it to manifest, to actually practice in our lives, right? And that is our mission, to practice and to grow. So again, on this 4th of July, may we all be like Moses, and may all those who are stuck in the place of Korach, of jealousy, cravings, and the desire for honor, pride, may all those people be enlightened and have the power and the blessing and the light and the ease, the flexibility, the melting away into a higher state for their good and for the good of all of us. Happy 4th of July. Happy day wherever you are around the world. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Rabbi Reuben Modik with Hebrew Learning Circles and Makom Halev Community here in Nyack, New York. If you are in the New York area, please stop by or drop a note. I would love to hear your wisdom and opinions. What do you think about ego? Can ego be annulled? Can it be regulated? Leave a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. Please subscribe and like if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you again for joining us for this little piece of Torah on 4th of July. Be well, be blessed.